Hey everyone, this is the ShutInBakas. My name is Chris. I just want to formally apologise for the lack of uploads this week. I've been feeling a bit ill recently, so it's not been helping. So I thought I'd just make a quick video on... Well, I've been making some quick videos on older shows that I've watched, because they're just very easy to do, because I've already seen them, and I already have thoughts on them, so I don't have to think too hard about it. Except for what happened in the show, because my memory is appalling. So today we're talking about Darling in the Franxx, or Darling in the Franxx. I don't know what the hell you meant to call it, but that's how I call it, Darling in the Franxx. Yeah, that. So, it went for 24 episodes, aired in January of 2018. That was a winter season, apparently. Sorry, just here in the downland, we're in the summer season in that time, so I always get way too confused about that. Licensed by Funimation, you can go watch it on Funimation. And the weirdest part is, I never knew this, but it was actually licensed by A1 Pictures, not licensed, sorry, the studios behind it were A1 Pictures, Trigger, and Cloverworks. Now, those are three of some of the best studios in the anime sphere. Trigger is maybe one of the more experimental types, but they are very well regarded. So, for example, A1 Pictures has done Sword Art Online, Seven Deadly Sins, Erased, Blue Exorcist, Fairy Tail, Kaguya-sama, like, they've done so many things. Trigger has done Kill la Kill, and Little Witch Academia, and SSS Gridman, BNA, like, Promare. They've done all of those, like, highly stylized shows. And Cloverworks, of course, we know them for Promised Neverland, Wonder Egg Priority, and Horimiya. And the unfortunate Persona 5 the animation version. So, yeah, basically that's a really good lineup of animations. Or animators, sorry. And yeah, like, you can tell, this series is very good looking. It looks beautiful, the animation is always fluid, the character designs are nice. Especially one, which we'll get to in a moment, that everybody seems to love and stan and waifu-eyes. But besides that, the story is basically this. Humanity is overthrown by these weird little alien rock monster things. Well, they're not little, they're actually pretty huge. And so they have to come together to fight them in these giant things called the Franxx, which are these big robots. I'm not sure if they're robots or if they're, biomechanical, like the Avas. That's actually something that everybody compares Darling in the Franxx to, Evangelion. Not even a competition as to what's better. But, to be honest, they're not even, like, comparable at all. Like, the only thing they've got going for them is big robots. People and big robots, that's the only, like, comparison you can make, to be honest. And yes, basically you've got your big-ass robots and your waifus. And the waifus are... alright. I'm personally not a huge fan of 02. I love her character design, don't get me wrong. And, like, it's just the problem with her character is that she's just kind of all over the place. Because she's actually the heart of the show. Everybody else in the show is relatively boring. Like your main protagonist, Hiro, I think his name is. Or Hiro. I'm not particularly sure how you meant to pronounce that. But... yeah, like, basically, he's boring because he's got main protagonist, Aura, where he's just kind of meant to be a self-insert to a point. And you've got 02, which is the more energetic, I guess, person who doesn't know much about humankind because, little wink wink, she's not a human. And we've also got other characters like the childhood friend who obligatory has to lose the harem. Or the love triangle, I mean. And we've got other girls, Twig and Tails, which is totally not a tsundere, and Kokoro, which everybody loves to hate, because basically she was one of the biggest things early on in the show that everyone lost their shit about. There was a part where there was a dude who basically said, hey, I really like you, let's keep piloting the Darling and the Franxx together. By the way, you have to pilot the Franxx in pairs of 2, and usually the pairs are of male and female for whatever reason. And essentially the guy's like, hey, I really like you, let's keep piloting the Franxx together and do our best. And she's like, okay, that sounds great. Like 5 minutes later, she like essentially just says, oh yeah, I'd rather pilot with this other Giga Chad over here. And it's got like this virgin sad energy going from the bigger dude. And I completely get that, like, it was quite a sad moment to watch happen in real time, like, oh god, sorry dude, that gotta hurt. And, yeah, basically, that was the big first controversy of the show, because I'm guessing all the larger people were like, bro, that's me. So then, of course, the other one was, basically, Hero and 02 are basically this sort of couple for the most part during the first half. They actually become one later on. And basically, what was it? Ichigo, like, kisses Hero unconsensually because Ichigo is the childhood friend who loves them. And everyone lost their collective minds about it. Like, seriously, calm down, guys. I mean, what am I saying? This is it's Twitter who was talking about this. Of course no one's going to calm down about it. I'm sorry, I don't want to bash Twitter because we have one, but they need to calm down sometimes. Right, characters aside, that was kind of a longer rant than I wanted it to be, but the characters are fine. They're nothing interesting, in my opinion. They're just kind of copy and pasted from, like, you know, archetypes, and just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this for the world, and shit. And, of course, the plot basically goes along the lines of big robots attack aliens. We find out aliens are actually the original people who lived in the planet. And then, for some reason, space. Now, I'm sorry, I have looked at this show. I've watched the entire show once. Don't assume that I've gone back and watched this because it confused me that much. No, I don't care. Darling in the Franxx is really stupid in the ending. I'm sorry. I'm not criticizing anyone who likes the show, but the ending was really stupid in my opinion, because why the hell did they go to space? Like, they didn't have to take it in that direction. It was all about, yes, the world, we gotta save the world from these subterranean alien things. And basically, it's like, oh yeah, so actually these aliens are from a different, fighting a different culture that are in space! And then they go to space, and 02 becomes a giant darling in the Franxx, and she's like huge, and then Hero goes to save her, and then, god, it's so stupid. Like, I feel like they were just losing it in the end. Like, they didn't know how they wanted to finish this because nothing made sense anymore, so they just kind of winged it. And yeah, it was kind of a dumpster fire. Like, you could make the example of, oh, well, the Evangelion's ending is confusing too. And I mean, yes it is, but like, if you look into it enough, it makes sense. But the problem with Darling in the Franxx, I've looked into it a wee bit, it doesn't make sense, and the problem with it is, I don't care to make any sense of it. It's just so stupid, like, it doesn't make any sense from the offset. Like, at least in Evangelion, you kinda got used to the weird physiology, god, that's the wrong word. The weird, big brain stuff. You got used to it. Whereas in this show, it was more or less just kind of like humans coming together to fight aliens with some chronic backstory issues. Like, that wasn't meant to get all, oh yes, let's go to space. But yeah, sorry, that was a bit of a weird rant. Anyway, I recommend this show to anyone who's just wanting something to put on in the background or is just wanting to watch a good animated show, because it is definitely that. Very well animated. The characters are at least colourful, so you can look at them and go, ooh, that's a nice character look, or, oh, those robots are, why do they have boobs? Stuff like that. So yes, overall I would say the show is fine. There's not anything compared to what everyone likes to compare it to, Evangelion. It's nothing like it at all. Like, the closest you'll get is robots that are driven by people, in which case Gundam is just Evangelion. So I mean, whatever, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button, really helps us out. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Ding the bell if you want to know when we're getting, new uploads and all that jazz. Follow us on Twitter, because I like to post every now and then of stuff I'm watching or doing. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.